we have a gentleman here with us, Mr. Jeffrey Deitch.
A renowned art dealer and curator, Jeffrey Deitch.
Curator and art dealer, Jeffrey Deitch. Welcome to Arise.
None of them ask anyone's permission to make their art. This art is really strong.
What I love about graffiti and street art, it is for the public. This whole movement was really invented by teenagers.
My name is Candace, and I'm a student from the ISF Academy in Hong Kong. I'm really excited to be able to have this conversation with Jeffrey Deitch, especially since he's such a legendary figure in the art business.
Okay. Hello, Candace.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, welcome to our City is Studio exhibition.
Welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you so much. I love being in Hong Kong. And in fact, my first involvement with street art in Hong Kong was 41 years ago. I brought Futura, Dondi, and Zephyr to Hong Kong to paint murals on the inside of a parking garage in Bank of America Tower. It's amazing that here we have work by Futura in this show 41 years later.
When I first learned about this show, just the title itself, City as Studio, that already got me interested in wanting to buy tickets for my sisters and come here. What was the inspiration or the meaning behind the name?
Well, I'm glad you like the title. So it describes the way the artists in the show work. They work in the city. So what I love about graffiti and street art is that it is for the public.
Right.
People are not doing it for a small elite audience in galleries that are hard to access. They present the work right out on the street. It starts with New York City in the 1970s. So it's amazing that the most innovative work in street art, work that influenced the whole world, was invented by teenagers.
That's really impressive. How do you think street art has evolved since then?
Well, they could not have dreamed of being in a museum at that point, but now some of the artists connected with street art are the highest selling artist in the world, like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring. These are works that are not just collected, but they're studied, they're in books, and you see wherever you go in the world, you see people wearing t-shirts and hats with images by Keith Haring and Jean-Michel Basquiat and some of the other artists. So it's spread worldwide since this movement started almost 50 years ago.
Can I show you some graffitis that in Hong Kong?
Oh, great.
Pictures of this guy. He is known as the Kowloon.
Oh, the King of Kowloon.
Yeah, the King of
yes,
Kowloon.
yeah. So, yes,
You know about
yeah.
And-
He's the most famous of the older generation. You know,
Right. His
it's a
Chinese
unique kind of street art because it's more obsessional.
When does something functional like this notice and these messages that he's writing, when does that become art to you?
Well, I'd say that at the beginning, this was not perceived as art. This was perceived as a funny older man.
Right.
But he became part of the culture of the Hong Kong streets. It's interesting now, after he's gone, people perceive this as art. And there's a wonderful display of these big doors that he painted that are now in M+, hanging like a major painting. So, you know, art is defined by how you perceive it.
What about this example? He's called the Plumber King in Hong Kong.
Really? I like this. I didn't know about him.
He started off writing these graffiti on the walls of the streets as an advertisement for his plumbing service.
Yeah.
And then slowly over the years, his advertisement is everywhere on all the streets in Hong Kong, and he started becoming more known and popular, and then people liked his advertisement and uses it as a design on different things.
That's really
like the tram.
interesting. Very interesting. Well, has it helped his plumbing business? Or now he decides he sells art instead?
I think he still sticks to plumbing.
Yeah. Very bold. How interesting.
I'm interested to know, what's your opinion on the outlook of art in Hong Kong in the future?
Well, the best art is always emerging from international cities and port cities that are open to cross-cultural dialogue. So that's Hong Kong. So the audience is here, the art market's here, now there are great museums, galleries, and that's going to inspire artists. So yes, Hong Kong already is an essential art center. It's going to be even more important.
Now in school in art class, we're exploring more of digital art as well, now that I've thought about it. Using digital art softwares
That's
rather
right.
than, because technology is such a growing part of our world now. What's your opinion
Well,
on
artists are always connecting with the latest technology. So in the Renaissance, artists helped to invent kind of new technologies with the invention of perspective and the use of the camera obscura, a device that helped them to understand perspective. So when photography was invented, that affected what painters did. You can see the influence of a photography point of view on how Impressionists created their compositions. So it just all the way through, there's influence of film and video on what artists do. So for sure, all these new digital techniques, artificial intelligence, that's going to be incorporated into art. It doesn't mean that all art's digital. It means that digital techniques will be used by artists. Artists always respond to the latest technologies. So it's not that artificial intelligence will take over artistic production, but artists will for sure use AI. And in fact, I have a great exhibition in my gallery in Los Angeles now with Refik Anadol, who is a pioneer in using artificial intelligence to create visual imagery. He's doing something very exciting. Artificial intelligence will take art into a new direction. It will give new frontiers for art. It's not going to take over art. We're still going to have this strong visual tradition that goes back to the ancient world. Thank you so much for this dialogue.
Thank you.
Thank you for your incisive questions. Well, are you an artist yourself?
I like songwriting, and I play the piano, the guitar, and the flute, and the drums. Now that I've done so much research and had this conversation with you about, street art and graffiti, I'm definitely a lot more interested, and I know a lot more about it than I used to.
Oh, great. Well, I hope that this informs your music, because the art and the music are very related.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really great pleasure and a great honor to be able to talk to Jeffrey Deitch. I was really nervous at first to talk to him because he was such a big figure in the art business, but it was overall just a really fun conversation. It's definitely worth it. I never actually even thought about being an artist or a curator before this, but now I have so much more appreciation to artists and curators, and who knows, that path might open up someday.
I'm so impressed by the enthusiasm for the art that Candace has. And my impression of the younger generation in Hong Kong is a very impressive group of people. They're very international, so impressed with how enthusiastic, hardworking, dedicated and inspired people are, the deep interest in art and culture. This is a great city to present an exhibition in, and I hope to do much more.